call for a ceasefire by President Zelensky, 30-day ceasefire. We hope
Right, welcome to Preco News TV. And President John Dramani Mahama wakasa edi afa Ukraine and Russia and tokwa ekoso any ceasefire and penifo person negotiate na eba. But before semetwa so edi amauno. If this is your first time or share Preco News TV wadaro ma ebeso se subscribe na aha eni eka and someone efa iwiase politics ene de ekoso nyina yichirichiri mu ema otiase nti bomoden se obe subscribe na ode amai. If this is your first time or share channel we obo subscribe button ne so na notification bell no eno nso so waboso ede amai. Right, sese ntokwa emwaye dimpa se iwiase betumi apata nenso omutu ho anamon eye Ukraine ene Russia entokwa no sede medin kan abo wamane ewo ntokwa ni mu ano ntokwa no sese edi 4 years nanu ya ena Donald Trump ebaye no opese ohwe ma bibia no ekofem ma Russia na Ukraine 40 ho ase na ntokwa omokuno omu ijai.
Meetings coming up, as you know, in Saudi Arabia. That's going to include Russia. It'll be Ukraine. We'll see if we can get something done. I'd like to get something done. A lot of people died this week, as you know, in Ukraine. Not only Ukrainians, but Russians. So I think everybody wants to see it get done. We're going to make a lot of progress, I believe, this week.
Uti Donald Trump ne kasi imuno one Ukraine and Russia for kasa say omunyina no ebekwa kushim wo Saudi Arabia na afi omadwendwen hu say eden no mbeye mafenu mienu ne nyina no omunyina no ate ase say omunkumbiem say de beya ewiase ebetumi enya na somdue bedopon try US Donald Trump try ni nyina no Russia esan kotoshe Ukraine eso ema omkoto bomb to Ukraine oil and gas bia omo asese omkose ho Ukraine fo nso adechia ena omo nso retaliate ye with a drone bombs omo so ekoto edekose Moscow yenhwe. Now we are ekosu nyina no opinion your friend of Vladimir Putin Russia mampeni ono nso wabekasa eyi ne ho ano se nyentokwa na ope na emom ne to de bia akwese western powers no omo enhyeda entenase na ompese omo epolluti eye Russia edi kire oman foforo yinti no na yento aso.
That's what they're talking about. And they're trying to intimidate their own population with an imaginary Russian threat. This is an obvious fact. And thinking people, not Philistines, but thinking people, analysts, those who are engaged in real politics, just smart people understand perfectly well that this is a fake. They're trying to fuel the Russian threat.
The threat I think you're referring to is a Russian invasion of Poland, Latvia, expansionist behavior. Can you imagine a scenario where you sent Russian troops to Poland?
Only in one case, if Poland attacks Russia. Why? Because we have no interest in Poland, Latvia, or anywhere else. Why would we do that? We simply don't have any interest. It's just threat-mongering.
Well, the argument, I know you know this, is that, well, he invaded Ukraine. He has territorial aims across the continent, and you're saying unequivocally you don't.
It is absolutely out of the question. You just don't have to be any kind of analyst. It goes against common sense to get involved in some kind of a global war. And a global war will bring all humanity to the brink of destruction. It's obvious. There are certainly means of deterrence. They have been scaring everyone with us all along. Tomorrow Russia will use tactical nuclear weapons. Tomorrow Russia will use that. No, the day after tomorrow. So what? In order to extort additional money from US taxpayers and European taxpayers in the confrontation with Russia in the Ukrainian theater of war. The goal is to weaken Russia as much as possible.
So Vladimir Putin ena otin nkano we nyina ekoso na ewiase nyina ehwe se den no mbetumi aye na entokwa no agyae no Ghana mampani John Dramani Mahama enso edina no atumbi ono nso esrese wose wo mohwe na entokwa no ceasefire no eba se de mpanimfo aye ne se wo so mkushi mo Saudi Arabia na omudi hu nkomo na Russia ne Ukraine fo nyina no etumi etiase efise entokwa no ehawiase nyina Ukraine ne Russia entokwa no ehawiase nyina omampani John Dramani Mahama se ewom se yene Africa hase no titru ni West Africa owum no omo ankasa nso wo mo hawo but so wo hwe Ukraine and Russia de na affecting the whole world so ehu behia se odina no betum bi na ceasefire na omo epe no etumi abaso mominti the president of the Republic of Ghana John Dramani Mahama Mr. Ushivia Melrimfi so be subscribe. Thank you so much for your time. Let's listen to the President John Dramani Mahama.
To note the call for a ceasefire by President Zelensky, 30-day ceasefire. We hope that that will open the way for some kind of dialogue to continue to start to see if the issue of Russia and Ukraine can be resolved. We think that, a lot of young people have died, and it's time for the war to stop, and it can only stop if there's a ceasefire and some kind of dialogue begins. And so that's our position when it comes to that. We have our own problems in our sub-region with the fight against terrorism. 3 of our neighbors in the Sahelian region are facing a very difficult struggle with terrorists, and we need to see how we can support them, because it's not their battle alone. Terrorism anywhere in the world is terrorism against all of us, against the whole world, not just the countries in which these terrorists are. And so would work with them to see how we can support them, because we are neighbors, we're in the same sub-region, and so we have a duty to be able to assist them, and also to try and see how we can build a good working relationship between the AES, which has become a reality, and our sub-regional body, the Economic Community of West African States. And so I think that Italy, our bilateral relations are good, and we want to move them to the next level.
Again, I know that a technical mission came here in the past weeks to assess the previous, let's say, exercise, and to check whether there is the possibility in the future to repeat it. And coming back to Ukraine that you mentioned, also our Prime Minister expressed, she welcomed the announcement of President Zelensky, and we are all waiting for the next move of the other, let's say, actor in this war. And concerning Sahel, also for Italy, for the reasons that we can imagine, is a priority. And we try to have a very pragmatical approach and not ideological. So while we hope that the constitutional legality will be restored, we want to continue to dialogue on practical issues like development cooperation, training, assistance. We have our cooperation office is in Ouagadougou, and we have not closed it. It remains there, and we have also a military mission in Niger. It's a training mission, actually, and it's been requested by the government of Niger, and is still there. So we try to give our, let's say, support to the, let's say, stabilization of the region, so we can work together on it.